All right. Good evening once again. So I welcome you all. This is Digital Z Hub, an online training tech training platform. So we started looking at how to summarize, how to perform aggregate analysis with Microsoft Excel pivot table. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use another data to quickly generate some reports that will enable us to continue from where we stopped last time. But there's no way we can continue without us having one or two reports. So at the same time, at the same time, that will serve as a kind of revision to what we did last time. So should in case you did not understand what we did last time, just pay attention, though I'm not going to explain it line by line because most of the things I'm going to do, they are part of what we have already covered in that section. So this is a salary payroll data set. I just want us to look at a different data sets. I've told us before that the one of the way you can boast that you are a data analyst. Sorry about that. So I was trying to make us understand that it is important we learn how to analyze different data. Don't just stick to only one data because every data set has different variables and sometimes the structures also differ. So it is important that if you want to develop your question drafting or your critical thinking ability when it comes to analyzing data, try as much as possible to analyze different data. So this is a salary payroll data set. And if you look at the headings, I've sent this particular copy because I deleted some headers just to reduce the volume of the data. So for some of us that have this data, don't be surprised you will not find some headings because I've removed them. So this is the salary payroll data that has employees ID as header, employees name, states they are from, the gender, the department, the status, the grade, the date, the hire date, the basic salary, the wardrobe allowance, medical allowance, transportation allowance, gross benefits, annual salary, and then tax. And then the last feature there is net salary. So let's assume that you are given this data set as a data analyst to perform descriptive analysis or exploratory analysis using pivot table. Now, when I was explaining the pivot table the other time, I mentioned two different ways we can implement it. And unfortunately, we could not use the other method. So I'm going to start with that method, which is the one I refer to as using the pivot self-generated report. So because of the level of AI that we have in the pivot table, once you highlight your data, pivot table will be able to assume some analysis. So it is now left for you having on. Okay, so like I was saying, the pivot table can actually generate its reports without you manually generating the reports like we did the other time. So let's quickly, we are still targeting building a pivot table dashboard. In other words, a collection of reports that will help us to draw different insights from the same data set we are given. So I'm going to start with analyzing my card question. Remember, I told us that it is important that you start with the card. The card are single metric
Excuse me.
analysis. Yes, sir. I'm with you. Okay. I thought you wanted
We're
to say
having
something.
a network issue. Can't
Yes.
hear you. It's
Okay, you can hear
breaking.
me. But is it okay now? Though I was timed out before. I think I'm back now. But just confirm if the network is stable. Can you all hear me? Please let someone else confirm if you
Yes,
can
yes.
hear me, so that we'll know whether it's actually from my end. Okay. All right. So thank you for that observation. So I'm going to start with uh, formatting the data as table, like showed us last time, to enhance updating my subsequent what entry within the source data. So, to format that table, you select the entire data frame, and then uh, you go to Home tab, and then you select Format as Table. So you can choose from any of the category. So let me choose from Light, and then make sure that this option is checked to indicate that you want to maintain your headers. You don't want the pivot table to generate its headers, and then you click OK. So now, once your data is formatted as tables, the next thing is for you to go to Insert, and instead of using the pivot table, which I told us that one is more or less of manual. That is, you'll be the one to manually use the headers within the data set to generate your pivot report. But it is important you understand this because most time, the pivot table does not calculate exactly what we have in mind to analyze. So for that reason, you will now adopt the skills that you have gathered from the manual method to reconstruct it to fit into the analysis you want to perform. So you just click on it. Once you click on it, you can see that automatically it has assumed some solutions for you. So this is counting serial number by grade. If that is exactly the kind of question you want to ask or you are asking, you can go with it. So I'll check this one. This is summing serial number by grade. Now you can see that none of this actually, because it will not really make sense. I am analyzing serial number. I should be talking about analyzing maybe grade, or summarizing uh, maybe the basic salary per grade or the basic salary per department. So what I'm going to do, but if it is very close to what you have in mind, what you do is that you can just adopt it by clicking OK, and then it will automatically uh, project the report in a different sheet like the other time. So I will have to rename this particular sheet as my dashboard. A dashboard. So after that, what I need to do is to reconstruct the report. Now, the question I want to answer is, I have to summarize the basic salary of all the employees per, let's say, grade or department. So which means that the variable pivot table is working with right now, they are not correct based on what I want to do. So how do I now change the variable to suit or match the analysis question I want to answer? So what I'm going to do is to drop the grade and then pick department, and then also drop the serial number and then pick basic salary. So you can see how I'm able to change. Now, what actually helped me to change it, because I have knowledge of the manual report creation that we learned last time. So now, for those of us that are not having, some of us say we could not see the header the way mine is displayed, like I've responded, that is not an issue. It depends on the version you are working with. But you can see that we have the filter section here, which is part of the four panel of pivot table that I explained last time. So for example, what I actually want to create, like I told us, is the card. That is, I just want a single metric report or outcome, because what we have right now is referred to as categorical value analysis, where you have unique departments listed and you are summarizing basic salary against each of them. This is also referred to as comparison analysis. But that is not what we want. In order to to have a very interactive dashboard, like advise us that you should learn to have your single metric analysis, which are known as CAD, at the top. That would form a design. So for me to convert this to CAD, what I will simply do is to change my analysis question. The correct question is summarize the sum of basic salary per the unique department. So if I'm going to have CAD analysis, the question will be, what is the total basic salary, the sum of total basic salary? So the organization wants to know how much they are spending or how much they will spend to pay all the employees. So what I'm going to do is to drop department. So with that, I have automatically converted it to CAD. Then remember what I told us. If you want to filter. Now what you have here is the total basic salary for all the employees. Now, supposing the company wants to know within this amount, what is the percentage of a particular state? Because this total you have generated here covers all the states. Now, they just want you to narrow it down to, let's say, Delta states. After you have created your report, what you would do, you will add states to the filter section, and then you see it here. So what you would do is to drop it, because right now it's filtering with all states. So you drop the drop down and pick only what? Delta state, and then click. So this is the basic salary, the sum of basic salary for all the employees in Delta state. What about if I want to analyze with multiple criteria? That is, I am asked to find out the total basic salary for Delta state and Edo state. What I'm going to do is to change my filtering selection method from single to multiple. So what I will do is just to return everything first, all, and then go back to that same filtering section, then activate this option that says select multiple items. Once you activate it, it will allow you to select all, then deselect all, and then select only those mentioned states, which are Delta, and then you go to where you have Edo, and then you click OK. So this is the sum of total basic salary for all the employees in Delta State and Edo State. So that is how you can use the filter to narrow your analysis to a particular variable. So this is my card. Like I told us that it is important because this is a dashboard, and your dashboard must be interactive. It must be dynamic. Remember what I told us about dashboard being interactive. It means that one report should be able to communicate with another report. So for that reason, we need to make sure that it's also user friendly, because this is like analysis what app that you are developing for an organization. So to format it, like I told us, we can simply what highlight the whole of this section and then go to our formatting tools. So I will not want to dwell much on that because I really want to get to the advanced feature of pivot table, which will actually make more sense. Well, there's no way I can explain those features without having a report. That is why it's as if I'm going over everything again. So I want to format this. I'll go back to home and then I'll choose my field. Let's say I want to give the whole of this color, and then so that is all. So the next thing is I want to answer another card question. I want to have like 3 different cards at the top here, and then we are supposed to write at the top here analysis dashboard, so that whenever anybody gets to this sheet, you know that, oh, this is what this sheet is designed to do. Now, to answer another card, I have to go back to the data set and then look at the question I want to answer. So I'm also asked, the company wants to know the total sum of net salary for all the employees. So that is going to be my next card. Now, see what I am going to do. I'm going to simply copy this very one that I have created to save my time. Copy it and then leave this particular column just to create some gap and then paste. So the only thing I will do here is to change the value, is to change the variable. So once you click here, we are expected to have our pivot report. Let me click. Okay, so copying it is not allowing us to select the pivot report. So what I'm going to do is to let's go through it again. Once, please confirm if you can hear me. Please confirm if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? Please, somebody should confirm if you can hear me.